Good afternoon. It's once again 5:30 on a Friday, and this is your host for the next 25 minutes of Hotline 21, the most interactive television show in America. And I call it interactive because it's really your show. I call it listening to the people. And we try and do as much of that as we possibly can because when I listen, I learn. And one of the best ways that I know as an elected official to try and make certain that I represent the views, hopes, and aspirations of the people that I ask every 2 years if they will vote for me is to understand what their desires are. And if you don't tell me, I can't know. You know, I might be stepping on a person's foot and I'm thinking I'm on an old piece of cloth or something. And if you say nothing, I'm just on your foot. But if you say, hey, get off my foot, now I know that it's not an old piece of cloth. I know that I'm on your foot. I've had a wonderful week. I have had a busy week. Last night we had an international town hall meeting out at the Progressive Church there, Reverend Herbert Martin's church. We had a great time. Night before that, I had a town hall meeting in Forest Park, Illinois, and we had a wonderful time. I've met with all kinds of people this morning. I met with the new owners of the ISF Bank at 4619 South King Drive. A black family has purchased Illinois Federal Savings and Loan and now are the owners of it. And we are hoping that they're going to be able to maintain its viability. They actually are from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. They have businesses in Ghana and other places in Africa as well as in the United States. So I am just delighted and excited about that possibility. But I'm more excited and delighted because I have an in-studio guest this afternoon. I have in the studio with me Dr. Linda Culberson Abington, president of the Teach Foundation. And I'm going to ask her if she will tell us about herself. I want her to tell us a little bit about her before we get into the foundation and what it does. So, Dr. Linda, we are pleased and delighted that you're here, and please go right ahead.
I am honored and pleased and delighted that you invited me to be part of this. I have to, before I answer your question, I have to say I have a habit of going down the street, up the block, and around the corner sometimes.
You take the long route home.
I take the long route home, yes. I am just so very, very fortunate and very blessed to have met Congressman Davis and such a busy man, and to just see just a very small part of what you do on a regular basis. And one thing comes across to me very loudly and very clearly, that you really care very deeply about your constituents. You care very deeply about your community, about your neighborhoods. So, and I thank you for that.
Well, let me thank you, but let me tell you, you know, I like children's rhymes and things like that, and everybody knows the bit about Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, that lamb was sure to go. It followed her to school one day and made the children laugh and play to see that lamb at school that day. But the children asked the teacher, why does the lamb love Mary so? And the teacher's reply was, well, Mary loves the lamb too, you know. So I think you kind of give what you get.
Oh, I agree.
There's a
I
lot of
agree.
reciprocity. And so,
I
yeah,
agree.
I do care about those that I represent. But, people are so wonderful and so kind and so good. I hear people talk a great deal about how nasty people are and how difficult people are,
Mm-hmm.
how much they can't get along with each other, and all of that stuff. And I'm saying they must come in contact with a lot of people that I don't come
Oh,
in
I agree. I
contact
think people
with.
are basically loving and kind.
Yeah.
I'm in total agreement with you with that. I do. I think they're loving, they're kind, they're giving.
You give to the world, and the
Give to
world
the-
will give back
I
to you.
agree. I agree.
I mean, I go places, I go to church. Let me tell you, I even go in and I might be sitting up having breakfast or something. And when I get ready to pay, somebody will come and say,
Mm-hmm.
the gentleman took care of your breakfast. I said, well, where? Yes, oh, he gone. But he just wanted to take care of your breakfast before he left and stuff like that. And I'll walk outside and there might be a homeless person out begging. And I said, well, somebody took care of me just a moment ago, and I'm going to take care of this person right now.
You
And
get
so
back what you give out.
that's right.
And
You
that's
sure
just it.
do.
You get back what you give out, and you give out just so much love and care.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
But to answer your question, now that I've gone made my excuse me circuitous route, I am a product of Chicago. Excuse me. I was born and raised in Chicago, and I'm a product of Chicago Public Schools. Very, very proud of that. Both my parents are deceased, Sammy and Vanetta Lane, and they were wonderful, wonderful individuals, wonderful parents. I was sharing some information about my mother with you a little earlier. She was a teacher. She actually did not attend college to be an educator, but she valued education,
Okay.
highly valued education. And because of her value, I have an older brother, an older sister, and we all are doctors. My brother is a graduate of the University of Chicago, both undergraduate
Oh,
school
my goodness.
and medical school. He is a retired orthopedic surgeon.
I would have jumped off the top of the Willis Tower to go to the University of
Really?
Chicago, but
Yeah.
that's so be it. Yeah.
Well, when we came up, there was a push to try to admit as many people of color as possible.
Mhm.
And all three of us were in school at the same time. But my sister just recently changed professions. She was an educator. She was called into the church. She is now the senior pastor of Abba Church of Renewed Faith, which is also my church. So she is my pastor and my
Alright.
favorite sister, as I always say. She's my only sister. I call her my favorite sister. And she recently received her doctorate. And myself, I've gone to a number of schools. And the latest school I attended was University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana, and I received my PhD there.
Mm.
So,
All right.
yeah. So,
I ran into a woman named Erica Collins, Dr.
Okay.
Erica Collins,
mhm.
who grew up around the University of Illinois, Champaign-Urbana,
Mhm.
because her father was the assistant basketball coach for the Illini.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then he became the coach of the Flames here in Chicago
Mhm.
at the U of I Chicago, and was the coach until I think 3 years ago when he retired.
Okay.
Hmm.
And that tells you a little bit about my education. I love church. I listen to you, and I hear that you are a church lover and churchgoer as well. And I visited a number of churches in and around the Chicagoland area. I was raised in the Congregational Church of Park Manor.
Mm.
In fact, my mother joined that church when I was 2 years old under Reverend Faulkner. And I did leave the church probably about 8 to 10 years ago, and my sister then started the Church of Renewed Faith, and I've been attending that church at 1750 West 103rd Street. So I've been attending there for the last 8 years, and we're a new church.
All right.
Yeah.
Now
yeah.
you run a social service agency.
Yes.
You provide social human services.
Yes.
What inspired you to
Good question.
develop this agency or to start it or get it going?
Good question. Prayer, honestly. I worked with Chicago Public Schools, and we found a number of our students, and I worked at the elementary school level, found a number of our students were slipping through the cracks. And teachers worked so very hard. Teachers would go in their own pockets, pay for clothing for the kids, pay for whatever articles those children needed. Teachers would go into their own pockets, pay for those services, pay for those things, but we still weren't able to reach everybody. So what I decided to do through prayer was I said, I am going to start my own organization, and prayed over the name of it. And the name is TEACH, which is an acronym that stands for Transforming, Educating, and Empowering Children and Humanity.
Right.
Yeah, I had very grandiose,
Right on.
very grandiose name. It was, and as I said, it was born out of prayer. Because we started out really working with youth, working with young people, and we had a number of programs where we worked with young people. But we found, of course, surprise, surprise, young people are not in a vacuum. They have families, of course. So those troubled youth that we reached out to, we found we were also working with their parents and other relatives. And part of the problem that we ran into was a very, very high incidence of substance abuse. And since God was in the mix, as God is always in the mix, we started collaborating with other organizations that provided recovery homes, substance abuse recovery support services. And for the last 7 years, let me take that back. For the last 7 years, we have subcontracted with the Department of Alcohol and Substance Abuse and Illinois Department of Human Services to provide services for people who are in recovery from alcohol and substance abuse through a grant program called Access to Recovery.
You know, there are a lot of people who are. We're going to have a recovery walk later on that I'm going to participate in September.
We will be there.
But we used to initiate it. I'm joining in with it. But substance abuse, overuse of alcohol, habit-forming drugs, even pharmaceuticals that are prescribed, people seem to have a tremendous reliance upon those products.
There are a lot of people who abuse a number of products. As you said, opioids are really, now we see that President Obama has gone to Congress and asked for quite a bit of money to be used to help people who are addicted to over-the-counter and pharmaceutical drugs. The people that we work with primarily are people who have been addicted to alcohol and other kinds of substances, opiates, for instance, heroin, cocaine addictions. And in order to be part of our program, they have to be in recovery. They don't have to go through any kind of formalized recovery program. They just have to decide they no longer want to use. They want to be clean and sober. So they have to be in recovery for at least 30 days, no more than 1 year. And the program, if they meet a few other criteria, the program is free. So, I mean, that's the best price. And I'm very excited about our program is because we are holistic. We use a methodology called the recovery-oriented systems of care.
Well, where are you
in
located?
We have 3 different locations. We're headquartered at 1750 West 103rd Street in Chicago because we partner with churches. We like the culture and the climate in churches. We don't proselytize. We don't try to encourage anyone to join. Of course, you can if you wish. Well, I'll tell you, spirituality is a very important part of recovery.
I go to colleges and talk to kids, and after I get through talking about science and all that other stuff, I will often kind of say, now let me tell you, if all this other stuff fails, I recommend very strongly that you try and come in contact with what sometimes you can't see, but you can only feel.
Absolutely.
That there is something within that holdeth the rein.
Which is what we call spirituality. And
all
I
right.
agree.
That's something I can't explain.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yes, there's something about tomorrow I don't understand, but I know who holds tomorrow.
That's right.
They look kind of like, what are you talking about? So I'm talking about religion.
Yeah, we're talking about God. We're talking about a higher power.
In my case, I'll do
and in my case, Christianity as well.
But I don't. I don't push them too hard on it. I just kind of toss it in.
Yeah.
And
it's important. It's very, very important to know that there is something bigger than you.
Yeah, there's a song that he
I know.
Somebody bigger than you and I.
I know.
Say, who holds the sky?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I tell you, if you ain't got none of it, sometimes you're in pretty bad shape.
I agree.
We got a caller. Let's see what our caller want to say. Caller, are you there?
Yeah, how you doing?
How you doing, good.
Davis? Congressman Davis?
Yes, sir.
Yes, this is James. Okay,
James, how are you doing?
Okay, now you know Donald Trump, right?
Yes, I know Donald Trump.
Okay, now he think he's gonna win, but he ain't gonna win. But God is more in control.
All right.
Davis, I hope he don't be. He gonna try to be just like Robbie Manuel. You know what I'm talking about?
So you think God is gonna keep Donald Trump from winning, huh?
No, I said God is cause God, like they said, if like people might vote for Trump. And God got the last word.
All right, well, you know I won't argue with you on that, James.
And you know what, Congressman Davis?
Yes, sir.
Now, you know Robbie Manuel, right?
Yes, sir.
And that guy named Andre Holmes, I think they all know about that tape, the one they shot that boy 16 times. And he needs to step down. And I think Andre Holmes needs to face charges too. The one that acted called Andre Holmes.
All right.
Y'all doing a good job, Colonel Davis.
Thank you, James. Thank you. So good to hear you. Thank you so much.
God bless you.
All right. Did we have another call, Crystal?
Hello, Dr. Davis. You
yes, sir.
7th District. I'm sorry. I don't have a lot of times too much sympathy on people that's addicted to drugs. No matter how you want to add it up, they are self-medicating. Here I am, a person with a disability, and they have all these different types of programs that help people that's self-medicating. And when you look at the unemployment rate among people with disabilities, it's 70%. Now, how you like to go to some program that's supposed to help people with disabilities, and say if you have a vision problem, they don't even have a closed-circuit TV. You can't argue, you can't fuss about anything like that. It is what it is, but yet they have all these programs that help people that self-medicated, that come pick them up for where they're at, that help them.
But aren't you stronger than they are?
I have a hard time. They won't even give me a bus token.
Let's see what let's see what our guest has to say about what you said.
I know what you're going to say. And when you look at what that drug place, I can't say,
Haymarket. Haymarket is one of them.
Now, if you addicted to drugs, they got all them folks outside of Haymarket. If I'm lying, smoking and doing all kinds of stuff. You supposed to be getting drug treatment, and you standing outside Haymarket smoking, and They give them 4 or 5 meals a day and treat them like it's more like a hotel. But yet, you got people with disabilities. We can't get any type of services. You know my background.
Yes, sir, you are right. I know.
And you know what, sir? I hear what you're saying, and I agree with you in terms of the high rate of unemployment for people with disabilities. Definitely, that's something that needs to be addressed. I think that as much as we can help someone, people who are in recovery from alcohol and substance abuse
But
are dealing with.
Told me,
They're dealing
I
with.
have heard people told me.
I hear you, sir.
People have told me if you was a drug addict, you get all kinds of help. You get your gas bill and everything else. They find a place for you. Don't have HIV. Guess what? They throw a lot of stuff to help you. But me, I can't. I'm going through the process now. I'm helping myself, but during my travel, I can't get no type of help whatsoever.
Are you visually impaired, sir? Did I hear you say that?
As Dr. Davis, I am legally blind.
Have you been to the Lighthouse for the Blind? I know they have a number of programs that are geared to help people who are
I'll be real
visually
short to the sweet. Matter of fact, Congressman Davis helped get me a scholarship. Now, you want any more information about the Lighthouse?
Yeah, he knows about
All
the
right.
lighthouse.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
he-
They
That's
have a hard
wonderful.
time. They give them all different types of services, but what? I can't, like I said, I can't even hardly get a cracker.
Next week we're gonna start with you, and we're gonna talk the whole time about
Well, you gonna
the
make me a guest?
differences.
Differences, and let's also talk about what we can do to help you.
All right, let's
Okay.
get heat.
Let's
Let me
talk
tell you,
about
he's
that.
in good shape.
Okay. All right. Well, Congressman Davis is saying you're in good shape.
He's in good
Okay.
shape. He's got
All
a
right.
philosophy
I see.
and a position and a point of view. So let's take this next caller right quick. Caller, are you there? All right, we may have missed him. Yeah, here we go.
Okay.
Caller, are you there?
Yes,
Yes, go right ahead.
Congressman, I would like to know who is the commitment of the 20th Ward.
The commitment of I know him well, young fellow who just won the election. It's not the alderman, but he's the Democratic committeeman, and his mother is the Republican committeeman. I'm having a senior moment. I know both their names, and Krista is trying to tell me.
I can't see that far either.
All right, well, I'll be able to tell you before I'm gone. It'll come to me, but I know them well. I know that Alderman Cochran is the alderman.
No, Alderman Cochran say he's not.
Alderman Cochran is the alderman. He's not the
I
committeeman.
know that, but I'm talking about the committeeman.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to just take a look.
Yeah, I was going to say yes, because I can't see that
Quick
far
look.
either.
Kevin Bailey. That is right. Krista has helped me. His name is
Thank you.
Kevin. His name is Kevin Bailey.
Kevin,
Kevin. Kevin Bailey. He's the committeeman, the Democratic committeeman. All right, thank you. Did I see another call right quick?
Thank you.
Yes, Congressman, real
Yes.
quick, I have to say this, and it's a great day to be on God's green earth. Listen, Joe, how can you be legally blind and claim that you got a FOLD card, that you are able to hold a gun and shoot? I don't understand that. And Congressman, why do you let them talk about Haymarket? Haymarket is one of the best institutions in Chicago, and they do a lot of things for clients. And even, Joe, you could even make possibility to get there, and you're talking about you can't get services.
All right, I got to run. Our time is
Let me
out.
get out there.
Yeah,
Thanks
but
for
we-
taking the call.
yep.
The sites.
Let's go right ahead.
If I
We
could-
only got 15, 20 seconds.
Okay, I'm going to do real quickly. We have two other sites. One is at Lively Stone Missionary Baptist Church, located at 4928 West Chicago.
My God, Reverend
I
Jenkins
know.
them.
Reverend
my,
Jenkins.
They've been my friends for years.
And the other one is Kenwood United Church of Christ, located at 4600 South Greenwood.
All right. Hey,
All
we want
right.
to thank our callers, all of our viewers, and Joe. We'll be talking next week And we're going to talk about disabilities. We're going to talk about individuals with substance. I want to thank all you guys for calling, and ladies for calling. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see if the good Lord bless and the river don't rise next Friday at 5:35. Right on.
God bless you.
All right.